Is Sword King in the fantasy world good? Spoilers ahead, so don't say I didn't warn you, young monkey. Hanbin is a 24-year-old man that came home 4 months prior from military service. Bored at home, so he goes to his computer. But before he could play games, he was sucked into a gray fog and brought to a dark place. Then two beings start talking about how many candidates they have. But then they start to implant these things called guidelines in people. Then a beam of glowing light goes right through Hanbin, and one of the beings makes a mistake in implanting the guideline in him. Hanbin finds himself trapped in a red desert with a red sun, in a system that tells him he'll leave that place after he reaches level 5. So he painstakingly grinds and levels up, facing near-death experiences, and wonders why him, till finally he levels up. But strangely, his level returns to 1. With a dire expression, he calms himself down, and tells himself he can get back to level 5 again, since the monsters will be easier. But the monsters don't get easier, but stronger. Facing greater danger, Hanbin gets to level 5 again, and again, and again. For 7 years, candidates don't age, and they heal light wounds in a day. His level may go down, but his stats don't decrease, and the stronger he gets, the stronger the monsters get. He wonders if this place was made to kill him. At the edge of insanity, the guideline tells him that it could all be over if he wants. But how does he know if it'll take him home? He plans to one day make it out so he could go home, so dying wasn't an option. Later, what Hanbin thinks 7 or 10 years passed, well, he stopped counting. But he's come to terms with his life. He built a house, equipment, and lives well. Though there are still some troubles, but nothing he can't handle. A being talks about the progress and how things are finishing smoothly, but he looks at a box and has a bad feeling when it looks like the mistake he made all those years ago come back. He finds that the candidate Hanbin was still in the early stages. He checks his status and realizes he's only level 5. He can hide this. No one will know. While eating monster meat, Hanbin checks his status, and then his additional status. He knows he's good at getting to level 4. But then the sky opens up. He's confused and gets sucked in to find himself out of that world and free. He checks his status and is confused how he got out. But as expected of a broken guideline, a dragon appears and he doesn't have his weapon, so he has to confuse it with a punch first and get his sword. Oh, never mind. A dragon in a cave talks about why she fought him, and that she's not even a real dragon but a wyvern. But Hanbin doesn't care about that. He wants to know how she knows he's another worlder, but it was just intuition. Hanbin wants to know why she attacked him, and she calls him an otherworldly demon. Hanbin gets upset. She talks about the history of otherworlders and how they were peaceful at first, but they began fighting the people of that world to level up and banded together to beat the goddess. They could get stronger just by killing like dragons. They were so powerful the people couldn't fight back. But then the 4 heroes arrived and destroyed the otherworlder organization called Great Earth. Otherworlders are evil, so they're executed when found. In fury, Hanbin says he was kidnapped and left in a wasteland for him to get out, and the whole world wants to kill him. Hanbin doesn't care what he has to do, but he will beat the demon that brought him here to get home. But he can't have anyone knowing his identity. 5 days later at the Hunters Guild, people who enter are one of 3 things: a hunter, someone trying to be a hunter, or an otherworlder. A cut back to Hanbin asking the wyvern for help. He asks to teach him about the world. He's bound to get caught if he doesn't even know the basics. She tells him some random stuff, but he wants to know how to meet a goddess. You have to be one of the 4 heroes, or to have done something great to get their attention. His best bet is to beat a dungeon as a hunter. Many other worlders in the past got caught trying to join the Hunters Guild, so he must not reveal his identity. Hanbin tells the receptionist nervously his forged backstory and name. She welcomes him to the Hunters Guild and starts asking questions. He says he wants to register as a hunter. She asks if he's not a hunter. Hanbin says yes. People start preparing their weapons. The receptionist asks him to place his hand on a stone. He wonders if he has to fight, but he's not sure. They ask to evaluate his level. Hanbin thinks it'll work out. His stats are hero class. He can slay the evil god. But back to reality, he's level 5. This leaves everyone in shock and they start to laugh. The confused Hanbin doesn't know what's going on. The receptionist says they thought he was another worlder. People say how predictable they are and can't help to think how dumb the evil god is. The receptionist asks for 300x as a registration fee, which is equivalent to $3,000, and he has to pay the wyvern back, as Hanbin can feel his soul leave his body. But now he has a hunter badge, so this is the start to his adventure. In a dungeon he goes. An annoying man called Loud says he can't go to a dungeon as a weak level 5. She asks if he's going to clear the monsters in the forest. He didn't want incompetent hunters doing the job, as he was the highest level there. But the receptionist tries to shove Hanbin in his party, seeing as he can't go alone, due to his low level, but he already filled the spot with a fire mage. However, he accepts him because he's a simp to the receptionist. He says he can take in level 5 garbage for her. Hanbin tells himself not to start a fight, but Loud grabs his sword, making fun of him, and realizes it won't budge. Hanbin looks him in the eye and lifts him up. Loud realizes he messed up. A man upstairs looks down at them. He says he found him. Everyone's in shock when Loud is lifted. A man looks at him with a glimmer in his eye. He says with a strong body, he could be to level 10. You can fight, but don't destroy the guild in the process. Hanbin puts his sword away. He just paid the registration fee. He can't get kicked out already. Loud yells, no one will take a level 5 in. But the burly man says, don't worry. He's been looking for muscles like his to join his party. He only lacks experience, so his level is low. Hanbin joins their party. This is an amazing story. The plot was fun and wasn't predictable. The characters were so good over the course of the story, I got quite attached to them. Though there are some annoying characters, but they get overshadowed by the great story. The world's a fantasy world that can distinguish itself from its generic counterparts. So overall, I recommend it. Give it a read. And if you don't like the first 5 or 7 chapters, drop it. Be here to find something you can enjoy, not to repetitively read. I've seen some people read some horrendous mangas, but I say this is good stuff.
Mom! Mom! My favorite content creator got canceled!
Do you want to know where your favorite content creators won't get canceled?
How did you get in my house?
At peakplay.org, where they give content creators the freedom to control their content, so they can produce what you want without restraint.
That's good, but can you leave my house?
And content creators will get more motivated with our digital property rights management system, which allows creators to sell a portion of their content. Do you know what that means?
What?
You're rich, boy. You're rich if you use this.
That's amazing. Where do I sign up?
At peakplay.org.
Thank you, Mr.
Just call me Santa Claus.
But you don't look like...
And have a wonderful Christmas.
It's May.